Hi everybody, Mark Anthony here with another Patreon exclusive. The only place you can get the recipe, right here on Patreon. And today we are making corned beef brisket. Something that's never been attempted before. It's in my brain. I start juggling it around, and 6 months later, 20 recipe tries later, usually 10. I can get by with 10. And I've got something that you are absolutely going to thrive on this recipe. For corned beef people that love corned beef, this is your go-to recipe. Okay, now what I did, you should have the recipe with you. I'm just going to go over some quick ingredients here because I kind of shortened it up a little bit. Right here, we've got our jackfruit that was cooked in all these ingredients. We've got the apple juice in here and the pickling spice, mostly pickling spice and a little vinegar and some flavorings. And then you just let that go. Just throw that to the side and just let it rest. Because you want the juices to continue marinating the meat. And yeah, so right over here, we've got the garbanzo bean flour, tapioca starch, this is rice flour, some beet powder, which I'm using 4 tablespoons. I'm using a lot of that. And then some xanthan gum. And I'm going to just mix all these together here. And that's kind of the main thing, is to get these all mixed together. Lots of the beet powder today. And that's because I want that beet reddish look. The difference between like a beef brisket or corned beef brisket, corned beef has a lot redder flavor to it. Now right here, just to let you know, this right here is rice paper. And I take the rice paper and I actually grind it up. So we're going to use a lot of this here, about 5 sheets. So if you want, I take this rice paper here, by the whole thing, and I'll throw this whole thing in a food processor and get it all busted up into these flakes. Get that at any Asian food store. So easy to find, easy to find. So we're just going to get all this mixed up here and set this aside for just a second. That'll work right there. And then right here with the jackfruit, we're going to want to get the jackfruit into the bowl, but not all the seeds. There's these little seeds and black peppers and stuff, and you just don't want those. And I try to shake off the juice here because I'm trying to control the amount of juice that I'm getting in my brisket. So just going through here, making sure I don't have any of those black pepper seeds. You'll see those black pepper seeds there. And looks pretty good, looks pretty good, okay. Yeah, it's okay if you got this because, you know, anytime you make a corned beef always uses pickling spice, always. You cannot have corned beef without having pickling spice. That's just all there is to it. So we're just going to mash all this up. And you'll see these harder pieces in the center there. And I want to mash those up too. I'm just going to press them down because I want to get those pieces, all those pieces busted up there. And you can chop it with a knife if you want. You can put it in a food processor. But if you put this in a food processor, you just don't want to turn it into a blended, you know, you want that texture. That's the whole purpose of using the jackfruit, is to get this texture in your corned beef brisket. So, okay, and that should do. All feels pretty good there. Take the gloves off, and then we can just take our dry mixture, put it in with the wet mixture. Oh, but I do want to add another 1/2 cup of this water here. But I don't want that, see, I don't want the, see those hard seeds in there? So let me put this around the bottom. I see one in here. I see it. See if I can get it. Okay, I'll just go like that. And I'll just hang on to this because I might need a little bit more. So, okay. Oh, we got to get our pan fired up here too. So let's get that baby fired up. Okay. I'm going to give this baby a mix here. I like using the gloves. It's just easier. Okay. And we're going to press this all together. Just keep press. Look how red it's getting. Haha, yeah. That's what I'm looking for. If you're not going to wear gloves, I would try to use a spoon as much as you can because there's like these little Sharpies from the rice paper. It hasn't softened up yet. And I do need some more liquid. So let me use my messy hands here, and I can just eyeball this. So. I want to get it soft enough to be pliable, where it moves freely. And see, this is why you can't really, you just got to know what to look for over and over and over. Just keep doing it. You know, eventually you'll get it where you know exactly where it's supposed to be. Because, you know, how much water the jackfruit is holding and how much jackfruit is in each can. And, you know, there's some elements there that you really need to know what you're looking for. So, all right, that's what I'm looking for right there. Okay, get these gloves off. I'm going to go through the gloves today for sure. Okay, get that set aside. Right here we have some rice paper. And with the rice paper, you can use squares or rounds. Today I'm going to use we'll try 4 sheets. You can get by with 3. Sometimes I use 3. 4 sheets is going to work. And we're going to, yeah, this will work just like that. So I'll put 2 here and 2 here. And, but you've got to water your board. If you don't water your board, these babies are going to stick to the board. So you got to water the board. Hot water, warm water works better than cold water. The cold water will just take a little bit longer to soften up. So, and we just gotta make sure that we've got it all nice and wet here. Okay, that should work. Yes, I get to play in the kitchen. I'll tell you, the camera probably can't even pick this up. It thinks I'm just rubbing a cutting board. But no, there's rice paper right here. See that? It's getting all softened up. Okay. Now, what I'll do here, I'll put this one out just a little bit farther. Yeah, once they stick together, they're there. So, okay. So, what I'm going to do here, let me just pull this out of here. The brisket's going to go right here on this one. And I'm going to show, you can do it kind of any size you want, but you want something that, and keep it tight, has the shape of a piece of meat. Briskets are usually wider on one side and narrower on the other, but I just don't do that with the application that I'm doing here. I could if I wanted to, but it would take a little bit of work to do that. Yeah, look at how much red you get on your hands. That's why I usually use gloves. All right, boom, boom. Put that in the bucket there and grab another one. So, when you get it here, we're just going to stretch the rice paper over the top of the meat. See, this rice paper is actually doing some multiple purposes here. Remember, we had it chopped up inside this brisket. We had it chopped up inside the brisket, and which gives it texture, and it gives you a visual look. You'll see the lines of this red coming through it when you do that. And then the way I'm doing it here, which I do this for a few recipes, it seals all the meat together and holds it in place. And that's kind of a critical thing. You know, you can chop it up and eat it, but you kind of want it holding together. So I'm going to get some olive oil in there. Okay, now I need to flip this over onto the other side here. So we're going to, hopefully it's not sticking too bad. Yeah, see, I got a hole there, but that's okay, because we made it. And then we just do the next side. Don't worry if you have parts that are hanging over the top. You know, the more pieces that you have, layers, the more it's going to look like fat and gristle. You could actually do 2 or 3 layers on this, and it's really cool. It works just fine to do that. All right, let's get this in the pan. Woo! Oh yeah, there we go. Beautiful. And this doesn't take long to sear it. You can always put some spray on it too, because what will happen is when you flip it, at least you got some oil on the backside there. And look at that. Just like that, you've literally sealed the rice paper together, which is going to hold the brisket together. Boy, that's a beautiful color too. And we're going to put this on a pan here. Oh yeah, that's going to work great. Okay. And now, yeah, that's looking good. Perfect. Okay. And now what I'm going to do, watch this. Put a little bit of this on the bottom side. Hopefully I can get this right on. Woo! Oh, yes. Put that little oil right on the top there. And then we'll put a little more on the top. So, we're going to put this in the oven at least an hour. I usually do an hour and a half, but at least an hour. And in about a half hour, I'll actually flip it over about every half hour. And you just wait till it's nice and tight. Everything's nice and tight. And then you'll actually have to let it come out of the oven, let it cool down. And if you cut it right away, it doesn't have a chance to tighten, just like real meat. You know, it doesn't have a time to tighten up and cool down. If you take real meat and you slice into it right away, everything just, all the juices come shooting right out of it. So just let it rest for a little minute. And so let's get this in the oven. I'll put it at 350. Takes about an hour, hour and a half, and then we'll be back. All right, our corned beef is out of the oven, and it looks beautiful. Look at that baby. Oh my. Okay, now, what I do with this is I usually just throw it in the fridge, come back the next day and slice it up, or warm it up after you slice it, that type of thing. You can do it right afterwards, but you gotta let it rest. It'll shrink down. This was in the oven, by the way, 315 degrees, hour and 15 minutes. So I did an hour and a few minutes more. Hour to an hour and a half is usually where I've got it. But an hour and 15 minutes did it. So we're just gonna slice this baby up here and show you what it looks like. Oh, man, look at that. It literally looks just like corned beef. This one's having a little trouble here. So let me go grab my other knife. We'll try this one. Serrated knife. See if it works a little better. Woo! Look at that. Look at that. Oh, man. I'm going to do... And you can do really thin slices. Look how thin you can get this. Look at that. That is just amazing. Wow. So yeah, take this and chop it up. You can you can do so many things with it. I would actually serve this with the cabbage and the potatoes, and we'll probably end up with a beauty shot like that, just to show you how nice it looks. But this just looks spectacular. And I'll even throw a couple on a plate like this. It does. It looks just like meat. You know, I've really got to the point where I want to create amazing, amazing recipes for you. And so that's why I go the extra mile, is to give you something spectacular. There's a lot of good recipes out there, but I want easy recipes that are fun and spectacular, that are really going to wow your guests. And there we go, just like that. So, and now I've got to try it. Woo! And you can see, oh man, it looks like actual skin right there. Oh wow. Oh my. You would not believe how much that tastes like actual corned beef brisket. But that's our recipe today. This is a Patreon exclusive, so unless you have our book or have our Patreon page, you're not going to be able to get this recipe. And this is one of the rewards that we do for people who are helping us raise funds for these lifestyle centers around the country. We have a purpose. We have a purpose-driven ministry here, and we just like to give little rewards. We know it's not about the recipe to help these organizations, but it's just one of the fun things we do to thank you. And I do recommend that you share with other people and let them know about our forum, so they too can help be a partaker in this movement to help people get healthy. So be blessed. We'll see you next time right here, helping you get healthy, one amazingly delicious bite at a time.